Are in Morena, and we're just south or just below the USD campus, and we're east of Interstate 5. Behind me is SeaWorld Drive, and people living in this area are concerned about the lack of drainage. They say that when it storms like you saw today, it will flood. And I want to show you can see that it's now receded, but there are these sludge marks right here, and it goes all the way up to here in this cul-de-sac, and that's a concern for people who park their cars here. We've been chasing the storm in the area all across the area from North County down to the South Bay, and snow in Mount Laguna. So let's start with the first snow in our mountains, and that is up in Mount Laguna. The National Weather Service says that the snow accumulated at and above 5,000 feet. You can see a blanket of snow from the Mount Laguna Lodge camera. Down the mountain, as we were driving south on I-5 through Chula Vista, we saw a couple of wrecks off the shoulder with CHP and firefighters assisting. A spokesperson for the city of San Diego says the stormwater department did not have significant issues today in regards to flooding and falling trees, but we did see a few reports on the Get It Done app requesting better drainage. There was a report of flooding on Savannah Street off Morena Boulevard, where we are today. You can see debris in the tire rim, which is about a foot high. Over in City Heights, another report of flooding. We saw the alley onto Dwight Street was still pooling this afternoon. Those reports still need to be reviewed, but let's go north where we first started this morning. Rain started around 8. The drive was slow, and we got to Encinitas. We saw people still out getting their coffee, walking their dogs, and taking in the storm from Moonlight Beach, and visitors enjoying it too.
We'll take the rain.
Even in San Diego, when you come here, when it's nice blue skies?
Absolutely.
I love it. Gotta love the rain.
We'll take it all.
I love it in the rain. I mean, usually I was out walking here a half hour ago, so that's why the raincoat, and I have a beret and gloves, and so it's been lovely.
We saw reports today of a portion of the children's pool railing down on the seawall. These are spectacular images posted to the CBS 8 Near Me page on our app, showing the waves from last week's roaring tides crashing into children's pool. Today, the city tells me that the Parks and Recs Department examined the children's pool and found that there is a rail missing, and to replace it, it's still being reviewed at the moment. That's underway, but they say a completion date has not been set. Carlo and Heather.
Yeah, Abby, and now we're seeing the sun breaking through a lot of those clouds. Do you want to ask you, though, did the CHP get a number of calls today?
Well, like I said, we saw some wrecks that were on the side of the road, but CHP says that they haven't kept track of the number of crashes that they responded to today, but they say they did check in with dispatch and they received more than 500 calls for service. So that can mean crashes, DUIs, speeding. But to put this in perspective, they say during a rain event like you saw today, they would usually have 1,200 calls for service. So they're much lower than expected, which could be a good thing that people are obeying the law, but they also suspect that there are fewer drivers on the road because maybe not everyone's back to work from the holiday.